the air conditioning is truly the MVP because it is 99 degrees here in Connecticut today with like an 80% humidity, and my hair is ridiculous because today is the day that we opened our pool and I've been out at the pool. At 80% humidity with crazy 80s hair, not a good combination. So I cannot even take myself seriously in the viewfinder right now. I have to go find a hair tie and I will be right back. All right, I guess we're gonna pretend that that is any better. But it's as good as we're gonna get. Hi guys, welcome back to another one. And this week we're gonna keep this a little like loosey-goosey, okay? Because I am having a serious craving for some really good fantasy reads. I've read a couple of romances, a couple of thrillers, and I am craving a straight week of just romantasy, fantasy vibes. So that is what we are going to do because I think I have like 3 or 4 of them on my TBR that haven't gotten read so far this month. So we are going to be fantasy heavy and just read all fantasies for a straight week. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So normally I get super into fantasy like in the fall, fantasy winter. I don't know why. And I go more towards like, and like also like thrillers, mysteries in the fall, obviously for Halloweenish reasons. And I usually like start kind of gravitating more towards like lit fics and romances in the summer, but for some reason, maybe it's just because recently I haven't been reading many of them, I am just feeling a straight week of gobbling up all the romantasy fantasy I can get. So let's try to knock some of these fantasies off of my TBR this week and see how it goes. So let's start off with talking about what books I'm currently in the middle of. So the Homey and Homely Book Club this month selected Gild by Raven Kennedy as our book this month, and I'm currently 75% of the way through this, and spoiler alert, I am loving it, or I guess hint alert, I am loving it. So I'm 75% of the way through Gild, eating that up, adoring it. But then I also picked up Heartless by Marissa Meyer this morning, and I got like 115, 120 pages into it, just sitting on the couch this morning, waiting for the boys to wake up. And according to my Kindle, which I'm reading it on, I'm like 25% of the way through the book. So I'm going to continue on with Heartless. This is going to be our first fantasy of the week. We do have kind of sort of a busy week, and tomorrow we're going away for the day / night, just on a little like Connecticut staycation type deal. So we will be able to get some reading done there as well. I am not an ocean girl. I don't swim in the ocean, mostly because my favorite animal in the world is a shark, and I love them, and that's their home, and they can have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to go messing around. Like, love ya, but don't want to meet ya. And I know that when I'm sitting in my living room, a shark isn't gonna knock on my door and like bite me. So I'm cool with our relationship being like me just staying out of their home and them staying out of my home. Catch my drift? So anyways, I am not a go in the water type of girl. My boys and my husband are. So they'll be frolicking all day. I like to set up my little station and spend the day reading in my beach chair. So that's what I will be doing all day, and like going back and forth to the bar and like getting drinks and stuff like that. So that's what I will be doing all day. So I'm hoping that between today and tomorrow we can knock this one out and we can move on to the next fantasy, because I'm really excited to eat up like hopefully several fantasies this week. So let's go make some more progress in this.
When things run dry, I'm empty. I can't see. I'm blinded by this concrete.
What one?
And I should call you, see what you've been up to. I've been wondering, how far did you go in 7 months? I bet you're happy and don't think that much about me. Here I am, not knowing how to move on without you. Without you. New face, same old What's your irony? Just smile wide, 'cause I got.
Hey guys. Okay, we are officially back from the beach. We did a little like day beach trip, and then we had a free night at our casino here, which is Mohegan Sun, and every once in a while they send me like free nights to the hotel, and it's just a good little staycation, a little opportunity to get away with the kids and have some fun for the summer. So we went to the beach during the day, and then we went to the casino for nighttime. We had dinner with my father-in-laws. It was a really good 48 hours, and I actually did get a lot of reading done. So I'm officially, I believe my Kindle said I'm 85% of the way through Heartless. I only have this little sliver left. I think it's like 40 pages. So I'm definitely going to be finishing this today. I'm going to do, let's see, should I do like a little bit of like a time lapse maybe? I think that's what I'm going to do, and just finish these 40 pages and then come back and tell you my final thoughts. But it's pretty good so far. So I'll give you my final thoughts when I'm done. Maybe the next 40 pages could bump it up a star. We'll see.
What you've been up to. I've been wondering, how far did you go in 7 months? I bet you're happy and don't think that much about me. Here I am not knowing how to move on without you, 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 you. Oh, without you, you.
And just like that, I am finished with Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This was so cute. So like I've talked about this a little bit before, but like I don't know that fairy tale retellings are my favorite things, because you want to know what it is. If you've heard the original fairy tale, you kind of know what's going to happen. So you go into this understanding that there might be slight variations, but like more or less I know how this is gonna end. Like I know the general gist. I know the characters.
Hi, audience.
Can I help you?
Nope.
Okay. So I know the general gist. I know the characters. I know what's gonna happen. I know how they're related. So for me, the story just gets a little slow in the middle. Like it gets a little repetitive, and there's not like you're filling in a ton of blanks because you know what's gonna happen.
Audience.
So this kind of suffered from that a little bit for me. It got a little slow at parts. However, there was enough difference and variation in this fairy tale retelling that it kept me more or less interested, and I loved the twist on the fairy tale it gave. So if you don't know what Heartless by Marissa Meyer is about, the gist of it is that it follows our main female character, Catherine, who is the daughter of a marquis and a marquioness, I believe that's how you pronounce it. She is Lady Catherine Pinkerton in the Kingdom of Hearts, Alice in Wonderland, and she eventually goes in front of the king to potentially be the Queen of Hearts. It's a Queen of Hearts retelling from Alice in Wonderland, okay? But the really cool twist on this is that it adds in a hearkening to The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, which is very cool. It's basically just the prequel to Alice in Wonderland and the story of Catherine Pinkerton, who becomes the Queen of Hearts. It was very good, and overall I give this a 4-star. So it's cute. It was good. Not my favorite book by far, and not my favorite genre, but a solid fairy tale retelling. So I liked it. It was good. Just a little bit slow at parts. So then the question becomes, where do we continue our week of fantasy reading? And I was looking at my TBR, and on my TBR for fantasy reads, I have Throne of Glass and Heavenly Bodies left. And I think because Heartless was a YA fantasy fairy tale retelling, I'm kind of feeling something just a bit different within the genre. So I'm going to pick up Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iriu. E-R-R-I-U. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but I'm going to jump into this and see how this does while I have 3 crazy children playing upstairs. So noise canceling headphones are going to come in handy this afternoon, I think.
Sometimes we act like a fool, not aware we're troublemakers. Sometimes we try to be cool, not being givers, only takers. Stop for a minute, stop and breathe for a minute. Don't get over your head, try to listen instead, won't you? Think for a minute, who you wanna be for a minute. Don't get over your head, you're like everyone else, aren't you? You could gain from being a bit nicer, know when to talk and when to shut your mouth. You're so moody, always such a fighter. Try to open up your mind sometimes, you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. Sometimes we yell when we're
That's really hot. Oh, that's hot. It's good, but that's hot. Okay. We're going to wait on that one. We're also going to keep our voices down because all three of my family members are still sleeping. So, okay. Let's talk about this. I've got to collect myself before I start talking about this book. I am now 165 pages into Heavenly Bodies, and I'm obsessed with it. Obsessed. Like, this is one of those books where I'm sitting there and being like, why have I waited this long to read this? This has been on my shelves for, God, over a year, and it's just been sitting there, and I didn't even know. I didn't even know how obsessed I was going to be with it. Like I said, I'm only 165 pages in, so it's like this little slivery right there. I have a lot of book to go. It could change, but up to this point, 165 pages in. I usually take about 100 pages to decide whether I'm even going to like connect with the writing or not. So I'm only 165 in. So I might be like prematurely celebrating a little bit, but at this moment, this is giving me 5-star vibes. There's a lot of book left. Calm down. But I'm loving this. And I want to try to make as much progress through this as possible because I'm flying through it, surprisingly. But she's kind of chunky. I think she's like 600 pages. Yeah, like 600 pages. And we do have baseball today, but I want to try to fly through as much of this as possible today. So I'm going to sit down before everybody wakes up, let my coffee cool down, drink my coffee, and then get some pages read before my kids wake up. So let's make some progress today.
You know it still hurts a little bit, but not that much. 'Cause if you want somebody else, who am I to judge? I've been thinking about you all the time, but that's alright. I'm starting to get used to it, think I'll survive. I met you in the summer, when you left it was cold. Said we loved one another, guess that we were wrong. I met you in the summer, our love was out of control. I've been going crazy without you, I'm so alone. I met you in the to do. I'm just staring at my walls and talking to myself now and then. I'll try to laugh, but I'll cry a bit as well. I was never any good at being away from you. I met you in the summer, when you left it was cold. Said we loved one another, guess that we were wrong. I met you in the summer, our love was out of control. I've been going crazy without you, I'm so alone. I met you in the it still hurts a little bit, but not that much. 'Cause if you want somebody else, who am I to judge? I met you in this.
Okay, so took you guys along with me to baseball practice. Now the kids are out in the pool. I've been reading a little bit. I am on page 296. I'm exactly 50% of the way through Heavenly Bodies, and my opinion hasn't changed. I am still loving this. I do not remember whether I even gave a summary of this on camera. I don't remember whether I did or not, but just in case I didn't. So what this is about is our main female character, Alara. She is the princess to one of the kingdoms in Celestia. She is the princess of, I always forget how to pronounce the kingdom's names. Asteria, I think is how you pronounce it. There's a really pretty map in here. I guess I could show for a second, but all of this is Celestia, and Alara is the princess of Asteria. Each of the kingdoms or the little countries in this world has like a patron god, which they call a star. They're a fallen star. They're immortal beings that are like the patron star, the patron god of each of the countries in the continent of Celestia. And basically what happens is Alara's country of Asteria, her patron star has just not been heard of. She's like, they call her the slumbering star or something like that. She's seemingly abandoned their country, and because of that, they were left slightly weak. And another one of these stars, who was like the patron star of war from what country or what kingdom was it? Perses? His name is Arita. Wait, how do you pronounce it? Ariette, something like that. Conquered her kingdom, killed her parents, and she, in the beginning of the book, in chapter 1, is fleeing to go be a refugee in the kingdom of Helios. In exchange for taking her on as a refugee, the king of Helios is ordering her to train with his son, the prince of Helios, so that when Arete eventually comes after her to kill her, she can help Helios fight, and it also benefits her because then she'll hopefully take her crown back in Asteria. It is so good. The world building is so easy. The banter is fantastic. I love our main characters. I love them. This book is so good. Please go read it. It's so good. There's like a perfect mixture of banter, enemies, maybe lovers. I don't know. There's a little bit of flirtation going on. So maybe like an enemies to lovers trope, a lot of politics and the world building. And I love the descriptive writing. It's so good. I'm going to continue reading. I think my boys are coming in from the pool. I can hear them. So I'm going to continue reading, and I will check in with you guys in a little bit.
I've been seeking for the glory. Say my name. And I've been trying to write my own story in the search for fame. I'm sitting here in this empty room. Walls keep tumbling down. 'Cause I ain't got nobody. I always feel so lonely when the day is through. I'm in the spotlight, night on till midnight. I want somebody to hold my hand. 'Cause I got my head in the clouds, but I'm getting really scared of heights. I used to spend time with all my friends, but who's gonna like me if I'm not there? 'Cause I got my head in the clouds, but I'm getting really scared of heights. I try to get everyone to see me. I play my games, but I just end up looking like a show.
It is so late and I am so tired, but I physically had to see what happened in this book. I could not allow myself to go to sleep until I finished Heavenly Bodies, which I just did. And this right here is 4.5 stars. This was so beautiful and so good. The writing, the characters, the romance, baby, like a couple of criticisms. We'll go over that in a second. But the world, oh my gosh, I'm going to start with the world because I have this like very intense, possibly, I hope everyone like relates with this, but possibly controversial thing to say about the world. So my favorite world I have ever read was the ACOTAR series. The entire world that Sarah J. Maas built in ACOTAR was masterful. And if you asked me what is the single world that I would want to live in a fantasy series, if I could, like if I could be transported into a fantasy world, which one would it be? It would be Valaris from ACOTAR. This right here gave me similar vibes to the ACOTAR world. This world, the whole continent of Celestia and the different kingdoms was very similar and harkened back to like the different courts from ACOTAR. Like each of the different kingdoms had a different environment, a different climate, a different vibe, like different attributes that their citizens were good at and that were gifted with. And this world really was the first time since ACOTAR that I was like, oh, what I wouldn't do to just be able to be transported into this world, even just for a little while, just to experience it, right? It was beautifully written, beautifully done. This world is incredible. The characters, amazing. The twists were twisting. It was unpredictable. It was beautifully written. The banter was fantastic. However, if I had to criticize anything about this story and this book, I am not an insta-love girl, okay? I don't love when, like, the first conversation they are getting too lust-forward or too lovey-dovey. I don't like it. It doesn't come across as natural and believable to me. So I don't love insta-love. However, there is a caveat to that in that I also am not an intense, extreme, slow burn lover. And this, in my opinion, walked the line of extreme slow burn. I mean, up until like 440 pages in, we had gotten like 2 kisses. That was it. And I'm not asking for anything much more intense, but like the characters' chemistry was so good and the banter was so good. And like, you could just tell how much they loved each other. And 450 pages in, we had gotten like a kiss or 2. To me, that is a lot of words, a lot of reading, a lot of pages with not enough for me. To me, that is kind of bordering on extreme slow burn, and that really slowed the story down a little bit for me. And honestly, as a reader that does love I read love stories for the physical expressions of love, and maybe that's just kind of like my love language. It did pull me out of the story at times and did kind of frustrate me. So if I had to criticize and why it's 4.5 and not like a 4.75 or a 5, it's because it was a little bit too slow and slow burny for me. But let me tell you something right now. If you were like in a slump after ACOTAR, try Heavenly Bodies because this was beautiful. This was great. I really loved this. So 4.5 stars for Heavenly Bodies. And I'm going to be honest with you, it is so late and I'm so tired that I am going to go up to bed and we will discuss in the morning what I am picking up next because I have major spaghetti brain right now and I need to go and sleep. So night till tomorrow morning. Coffee. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. Okay, so I know it looks the same as when I went to bed last night, but the reality is it's the next morning and I'm just still in my pajamas. And that's how I want to stay for a little while today. I don't have anywhere to go, so I'm going to hang out in my pajamas and everybody in my house is still asleep, so I'm just going to hang out. We have to figure out what we're going to be reading today, but I'm going to start out with another book because Homie and Homely selected Gild by Raven Kennedy as our June book, and I am 75% of the way through it. absolutely loving it. And it has to be done this week anyways. So I think what I'm really wanting to do this morning is get back into that world. I think I'm going to sit down and bang out the last 25% of Gild, and then we will figure out what's the next fantasy book we're going into, because Gild still counts. It's obviously fantasy. So let's go ahead and finish up Gild and drink our coffee, because I'm not fully functional yet. So
I'm out of reasons, I'm out of rhyme, but I'll only tell you that I'm out of time. I'm sick of love songs, I'm tired of this, and I wanna tell you straight just like it is. You're watching me like you want me, but you're still holding back, still holding back. Honestly, you're annoying me with the way that you keep playing. Show me your love like it is. Bend open my heart like you're fearless. Steal all the gold you can get, you can get. Show me your love, leave me breathless, breathless. I'm out of patience, I'm out of feels, but I guess I'm waiting around for something real. I'm going crazy, like what's the deal? 'Cause I want you to show me what you feel. You're watching me like you want me, but you're still holding back, still holding back. Honestly, you're annoying me with the way that you keep playing. Show me your love like it is, like it is. Bend open my heart like you're fearless. Steal all the gold you can get, you can get. Show me your love, leave me breathless, breathless. Show me your love like it is, like it is. Bend open my heart like you're fearless. Steal all the gold you can get, you can get. Show me your love, leave me breathless, breathless.
I did it. I just finished Gild by Raven Kennedy. This book was so good. This book has everything. It literally has everything that I want. It has excellent world building, but not overcomplicated world building. I loved our main female character. She is incredible. I loved the King Midas retelling, which is unusual because I typically don't love retellings, but this is well done and it's very interesting. I love the way the story went. There was not a single chapter that bored me in this entire book. It was so good. It has gold-touched heroine, twisty plot lines. You don't know who the villain is. Like, you know that there's going to be an inkling of romance somewhere because it is a romantasy, but I have no clue who it's going to be with. I have no idea. And now, in the last couple of chapters of the book, there's a new character that was introduced who's Fae. So now we have a Fae world we were introduced to. I'm telling you right now, this book has everything. It was so good. And because of that, I read it so quickly. So I'm so excited that this was our book club book. But there you go. Another fantasy book down. Oh, and also, by the way, I gave this 4.75 stars. I hemmed and hawed so long about whether or not I was going to give this 5 stars. And I probably could have. And maybe if I sit with it for a little tonight, or maybe if it's like still on my mind in the next couple of days, I'll go on Goodreads and I'll update it to 5 stars if I just can't stop thinking about it. But ultimately, the reason why I'm going to do 4.75, at least for right now, is because there was just like some feeling that I just didn't quite get. Like when I closed Beach Read, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that that was a 5-star read. It made me feel things. It was a fantastic, perfect book. No criticisms. I loved this and it was so close. Like it was right there. It was so close, but it just wasn't. I don't know. I don't know what was missing, but I just can't confidently with my full chest say this was 5 stars. Maybe it was. Maybe next week I'll be like, I have not stopped thinking about that book. And I certainly am going to continue on with the series. So I'm not guaranteeing that it won't be a 5-star series, but at least for right now, Gild was a 4.75. There was just some tiny little inkling that was missing in it. So moving on. Now we are going to go into our last book for this vlog. What are we going to read? Okay, so let's look at our TBR and figure out what we still have left by way of fantasy. Okay. So the only real fantasy left on my oh no, wait, there's 2. Okay, so there's 2 fantasies on my TBR. There's Throne of Glass and Between Ink and Shadows. Also, I know when I was doing my TBR, I kept saying that Starling House was like a mystery, thriller, paranormal, fantasy type deal, but I don't think we're going to count that one. So Between Ink and Shadows or Throne of Glass? What do we do? I think we all know what we're going to do. I think we all know what time it is. We're going to do it. Let's jump into Throne of Glass. Next day, I feel like we're a little lopsided. I feel like I'm lower on this side. If we are, whatever. Who cares? Doesn't matter. But next day, and today is kind of busy. So, and it's not like busy, it's just like a lot of running around. So I did get 7 chapters and 40 pages in to Throne of Glass last night. Not that far, but I'm hoping I can like squeeze in. You want to know what I do on really busy days? I plan my reading by like 30 to 45 minute like sprints. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm hoping I could get 30 minutes here. I'm hoping I could get 45 minutes here. My phone is ringing. Who is calling me? I don't know who that is, but if you hear my phone vibrating, it's right under the tripod. So I try to get like 30 to 45 minute like time periods in, and I think I have a couple of like 30 and 45 minute breaks in between like everything we have to do today. So in about 20 minutes, I have to leave for my son's orthodontist appointment, which is like a half hour away. So there's a little bit of driving there. And then this evening, I think I've talked about this before, but both of my boys are incredibly athletically gifted. My 14-year-old is a striker in soccer, very, very, very good, but he is currently between seasons right now. So his spring season ended and we have a couple weeks break before his like summer practices start because he's hoping to play year round this year. Winter in Connecticut is a little iffy with soccer. You got to find like an indoor league, but he's hoping to play year round. We have a little bit of a break for him. So he's kind of blessed with a little bit of a chill time between seasons for the summer where he can relax. But my 10-year-old is an incredibly gifted baseball player. I was just talking about you.
What?
And how you're the next Cristiano Ronaldo.
Really?
Yeah.
Man City for life.
Oh, you're the next Holland? You don't want to be Ronaldo anymore?
I do want to be Ronaldo.
You do? But would you rather be Ronaldo or Holland?
What?
Would you rather be Ronaldo or Holland if you had to choose?
Well, Ronaldo, Holland.
Back up. Why are you so
Ronaldo
close?
all the way.
Ronaldo?
Ronaldo all the way.
So how was I wrong? Sue, how was I wrong? You're the next Ronaldo.
You're not wrong.
And then you came over and said Man City for life. What if
I love Man
Ronaldo went to play for Man City?
He would never, because he plays for Man United.
No, because he's going to play for Inter Miami.
But he would never do that.
He's going to go play with Messi.
That's not good.
Hey, by the way, on my last video where you were like, say into the camera, Ronaldo's the best, and I said Ronaldo is one of the best, did you see the comment that it got? Where one of the comments said, by the way, your son was right, Ronaldo's the best.
Yeah.
Did you look at it?
Nope.
Okay, well, anyways. So, but like I was saying, so he is my little soccer guy. My 10-year-old is incredibly gifted at baseball, and he plays, I mean, pretty much year round. And right now is his all-star season where he was selected to represent our district in the States, and then if they win, they go to play Northeast, and then if they win, eventually they go up to the Little League World Championship, which I think is either in Houston or Vegas this year. So we have an all-star game, which we have to be there at 4:45 for a 6 o'clock game, and that doesn't include travel time. So, like I said, it's a lot of driving, it's a lot of coordinating, it's a lot of kind of running around to different things. So I'm hoping to squeeze in a couple of 30 or 45-minute reading sessions, but if you guys don't know, I actually did read Assassin's Blade first. So this is, for me, book 2 in the Throne of Glass series, but this was the original flagship first book. Sarah J. Maas actually wrote this, I believe, when she was 16 years old. And I was a little bit worried going into it that you would be able to like tell that it was younger writing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And full disclosure, I might be a little bit biased because she is hands down my favorite author of all time. Sarah J. Maas is the master. She is the GOAT of fantasy writing. And I might be a little bit biased, but I was a little afraid that this would taint my 5-star opinion of her writing because it was written when she was so young. I can't tell. Now, this is a young adult series, so I'm not talking about stylistically. It's not going to be the same as ACOTAR or perhaps Crescent City. This is more young adult geared, so you have to expect younger themes and a little bit of younger dialogue. And Selena Sardothien, our main female character, is 18 in this book, so she's not going to speak the same way that a 40-year-old character might speak of in another book. You know what I'm saying? So, like, once again, if you're keeping your expectations where they should be, I'm just saying I thought that this writing was going to be a bit 16-year-old, you know, and at 36 years old, that's not always something that I connect to. And I'm not experiencing that, 40 pages and 7 chapters in. I'm loving the writing still. I find it so easy to follow. I love the world building, and giving a basic synopsis for anyone who hasn't maybe gotten a chance to look over what this book is about. So this book follows our main female character, Selena Sardothien. She is the greatest assassin on their continent, but this book begins, she has been captured and she has been sentenced to work in the mines at Endovier? That's how I'm pronouncing it, Endovier? She has been sentenced to work in the mines, which is an incredibly harsh, brutal sentencing and landscaping. It says in the book that most captives don't even make it a month working there. And she has so far been there for a year when she is pulled from her mine and her cell and brought by Captain Cale Westfall to sit in front of the prince, where she is told that the king is looking for his next assassin, his next king's assassin, to join the king's guard. And instead of just selecting someone, he has allowed a noble person from each of their 12 districts essentially to select a champion to represent them in these games. And if you win the entire game, you become the king's assassin. The Prince Dorian Havillard, I believe is how you pronounce it, has selected Selena as his champion. And if she is to win these games, she will be, he comes to her and suggests that she works for the King's Guard as his assassin for 6 years. She negotiates him down to 4. And after 4 years as the King's assassin, if she wins, she will earn her freedom and she can get out of the mines. So that's where we're at so far. I am loving this so far, and it feels, there's something about a Sarah J. Maas book for me that just makes me, it brings me back to feeling like home. I love her writing. There's a sense of like, oh, it's so good to be back in the Maasiverse. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to continue on with Throne of Glass today. I'm hoping I could squeeze in a couple of good like 30 to 45 minute sessions. Maybe I'll even get spoiled and I'll be able to do like a full hour-long session. But I shouldn't get ahead of myself because today is kind of crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and see how much progress I can make, but I'm going to the orthodontist right now. So bye.
And I don't want your sad blue eyes. You know everything about me, like I need my territory. So why are you still so needy? You're in over your head. Phone is ringing, always at a bad time. Every time you flash your name, always leaving, then you got me chasing you like I'm the one to blame.
Guys, I am so scared to make this update, and sorry if you can hear my fan in the background. It's warm, so I have my fan going, but I am now 211 pages, which is 51% of the way through Throne of Glass, and I am so bored. What is going on? Is it me? I'm just like, I don't know. It's not even that nothing is happening. And the writing is good. You know, it's funny because I was messaging back and forth with Reagan earlier from Reagan Reads. If you don't subscribe to her, subscribe to her because she's so sweet. And I love her bookish content. And she lives her best life. Like, she is just perfection and such a sweet person. So all her stuff will be linked down below. But I was messaging back and forth with Reagan earlier, and I told her, like, girl, I'm reading Throne of Glass, and she was like, oh my god, my life is complete. I can't wait to like chat with you about it and what you're thinking. And now I'm like, maybe we shouldn't. Like, I'm 51% of the way through. Like, there's still a lot of book left, right? And like I said, I can't pinpoint like why I'm just so not into it right now, because obviously Sarah J. Maas's writing is beautiful. She's a master of her craft. I say this, I feel like, in every video that I do. And the world building is fantastic. I'm super into the world. Like, I love the world. I'm loving the little love triangle situation that we've got going on. Like, I'm interested in that, but like, so much of it is just so boring. Right now there's like trials going on. Like I said in my summary, like, she was selected as Crown Prince of Crown Prince of Adarlan Dorian's champion, and like, she's in the midst of these trials, and I literally could not care less about these trials. I think they're stupid. Like, they're not even interesting. Like, one of them was just straight up like archery, like just shooting arrows at targets and like scaling a wall of the castle. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, I honestly went into this thinking this was going to be like ACOTAR, but maybe that's not fair though, because now that I'm thinking about it, the first book in ACOTAR, like literally A Court of Thorns and Roses, was my least favorite of the series. And it's not that I necessarily found it boring. I guess I did find it a bit wordy, which I think I'm like talking through right now, and I'm realizing maybe that's what's like not connecting me to this, is that I feel like it's just a bit wordy when it doesn't need to be. And it is very YA, like the writing style. So I don't know. I shouldn't snap judgments. I have 49% of the way through the book. I have 49% left. And I'm just going to keep going. Maybe it's me. I don't know. 51% of the way through the book, I'm bored, but does it get better? Please? Does it get better? Is this just like first book syndrome where like the first book is like underwhelming? I don't know. Hopefully the last 49% picks up because I'm seriously like traumatized at how bored I am right now. I'm like thinking there's something wrong with me. So comment below if you also found yourself like not caring. I'm trying not to get totally discouraged because I honestly thought this was going to be like mind blowing. Like I could not wait to get back into the Massiverse. Like I'm trying not to get discouraged, but all we can do is keep powering through. It's not like it's not even close to a DNF. Right now I think we're sitting at a 3-star, right? So it's not even bad. I just honestly, like I had such high expectations and maybe that was a me thing. Maybe that was my fault, but let's just keep powering through, guys. Oh my God. I genuinely wonder if there's going to be comments below being like, no, it's you. Like, this is the most amazing book that's ever been written and there's something wrong with you. Fair enough. Fair enough. Tell me guys, give it to me. Oh my God. All I want to do is message Reagan right now and have her give me a pep talk and have her be like have a little come to Jesus, you know what I'm saying? But it's 4:15 in the morning in London right now, so that's a no-go, but all right, let's just keep powering through. In the meantime, though, what isn't boring is Cole's new friend. Can you see him? Get lined up. Hold on, let's zoom in. Oh boy.
If you can't see him, he's a moth. His name's Jeremy.
Oh boy, what did we do?
Oh.
Get him in there. Get him in there.
His name's Jeremy.
Wait, gotta get him in the frame. Everyone meet.
Oh!
There he
Jeremy!
goes. Jeremy! Okay.
Can you see him?
Wait, you can't see him. Hold on.
I'm gonna pick the camera up.
No, don't. Wait, he's up there. He's right here. Okay, look. You want to show him Jeremy? Jeremy. He's up there somewhere. I say his name is Matthew, but... Okay, I am now 73% of the way through this book, chapter 40. I got up this morning and both of my boys and my husband are still asleep. Oh, never mind. I guess he's up. Hey, baby.
I'm awake.
Do you want me to make pancakes?
Huh?
Do you want me to come upstairs and make my famous pancakes? Apparently, Dylan is awake. Who knew? Let me get this done and then I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to make a big old breakfast because we love famous pancakes, my special pancakes with peanut butter and chocolate chips in them, and I'm craving them and they're craving them. So we're going to get that done in a second. But I was saying that I woke up this morning and I wanted to get some progress done in this book and I'm so hell-bent on liking this book. And it's like, it's so weird because it's not that I'm not liking it. I'm just kind of find myself bored and like slogging through it a little bit. And one of the things that I'm having trouble connecting to, like spoiler free, obviously, I'm not going to give anything away, but like I said, there's this like trial element to this book. And it's just so strange that like what I would identify as kind of like an action plot point is the point that's so boring to me. And I just don't understand why, because I'm like a trial girl. Like I love trials in books and I'm not there with it. And it just seems to me at this point that the trials are actually just kind of like a plot point to like get us into the castle setting. Like it was kind of like a catalyst. It was the taxi cab that brought us in there, not really a main plot point, which is odd because the action element is usually one of the main plot points. And right now it's feeling for me like it's not. Like it was just something that got us where we needed to be physically, like a location in the world. And it's just so, I don't know, maybe that's why I'm not connecting with the trial element. It's just kind of to the point where it's like, we're going to bring you to this castle for these trials and you're going to be the king's champion and you're this evil assassin and you have to compete in these trials. And then you're like, oh, okay, I get it, like the trials. And then you get to the trials and it's like, oh, 6 paragraphs of you doing archery. Okay, but wait, now we're going to do trial number 2 and it's going to be bad and like trial, these people are going to be sent back to these prisons. And then you get to the trial chapter and it's like, climb a wall and get the flag. And it's literally like maybe 2 pages of that. And then it's like back to something else. I don't know. There's something about this book that's just not gripping me, which is so strange. But it's weird because I love the characters. I love the world. I love the banter and like I said yesterday, the love triangle is love triangling, right? Like it's keeping me in it. I just don't know. However, side note, let me scooch over so I can put this here. I did wait till a more socially appropriate time and promptly messaged Reagan to like confirm that this wasn't just me. And Reagan did say that book number 1, similar to like ACOTAR, where book number 1 isn't quite as thrilling as the rest of the series, book number 1 was slower for her as well. So she confirmed that I just need to get through this and then continue on the series, which like I've said like 4 times was similar in ACOTAR for me. ACOTAR was not like A Court of Thorns and Roses. Book 1 was not my favorite book, but once you get to like books 2 and books 3, it becomes life-changing. So it's not, I feel like I'm being so harsh. You want to know why this is sounding so harsh? I'm not liking this book, but I think my expectations were up here. So when a book comes in like just like mid-level to really high expectations, it seems a lot worse than if you go in a book with mid expectations and it blows you out of the water and it's so good. So I'm like I said, it's still sitting between like a 3 and 3.5 for me right now. And we're just getting into the last 25% of the book where I really think we're going to see like plot holes be filled in, relationships be solidified, and like the action kind of come to a head. So I'm going to continue on after I go upstairs and make us some delicious pancakes. So we are going to finish this not only today, but in the next probably 2 hours. And I'm excited to see what I end up thinking about it. A few things have happened since I last spoke to the camera. One, we went to West Hartford to get my oldest son's middle school graduation present. Then we followed up with eating at my favorite ramen restaurant, which was delicious. Then we went to a 3-hour-long baseball practice. Then we swam in the pool. Then we hung out with my 2 boys' best friend. And I finished Throne of Glass. It is officially done. I am done with Throne of Glass. And I think you guys have kind of gotten the gist of my initial thoughts while I was reading this. And as much as I was hoping that the last, quarter of the book would kind of improve upon my thoughts kind of stayed the same. This is going to end up being a 3.5 star read for me. Yeah. You could definitely tell that she was younger when she wrote this because the quality of the writing is not your typical SJM quality. It definitely is kind of downhill. The plot had so much potential of being great. I mean, an assassin who's going to go and compete in trials to be the king's champion, like this could have been amazing, and it was just very flat to me. That's a really good word for it. The book was just flat all around. The characters were kind of flat. The plot was kind of flat. Where this book shines is the world that was built and the banter. However, there were a lot of plot holes. There was a lot of mundane detail that didn't end up coming to matter. Now, that being said, could it continue to matter moving forward in the series? Sure, that is yet to be seen. However, this was quite the slog for me to get through at parts. So I'm of course going to continue with the series. I have heard from people, I've spoken to a couple of people now about this book in particular and this installation in the series, and the theme, the general gist, the general take of it kind of agrees with me, that like just kind of like ACOTAR, like get through this one to get to the rest of the series. So 3.5 stars still isn't bad. I mean, I didn't dislike this book, but my expectations were really, really high. So that was the last book for the week of reading fantasy books, and I liked it. It was okay. I'm definitely going to keep going. So let's do a general recap of the books we read this week. So here it is. Here is our official stack of the books that we read on our week of fantasy. We made it, oh boy, we made it through 4.25 books because I had already started one. So let's just go over them really quick. So we started off the week with Heartless. This was really, really cute, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. Cute little Queen of Hearts retelling. Then we went into Heavenly Bodies. This was amazing. Loved it. Already gave you my thoughts. 4.5 stars. Next, we went into the last quarter of Gild by Miss Raven Kennedy, and this was the shining star of the week. For me, this was 4.75 stars. So close to 5 stars, but just couldn't quite get over that tiny last little hump, but amazing. And I'm going to do everything in my power to read the second book in the installation next month because it was that good. And last but not least, Miss Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This was a 3.5 stars, and although it wasn't my favorite, it definitely was good, and I'm going to continue. So that's it, guys. What did you think of our week of fantasy reading? I think it was a fantastic week. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I was just so craving a week of fantasy. And I am so glad I did this because this was hands down one of my favorite weeks of reading I've done. I was so in the mood to jump into other worlds and really let my brain go crazy with my creativity, and I really, really love that I did this. It definitely, I don't even think I'm out of my fantasy craving. I think I might have to jump into another one because I still do have plenty of time to read another book by the end of this month. But what did you guys think? Which of these books have you read? Do you agree? Do you disagree with my opinions? And if you have made it this far, go ahead and comment the star emoji for Heavenly Bodies, and then go ahead and do all the stuff you're so good at, like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.